It's me, your boy, Big Chillin'. So, I tried to do this video already a couple times. These rants are not as like easy flowing as like tarot readings. And it's funny because this channel actually started out as a vlog, where we were talking about spiritual things and stuff, and then it evolved into tarot. Um, but So I guess now you guys get to hear me rant a little bit, do a little periodic vlog, I guess. Basically, I was watching the YouTubes, and while I was watching the YouTubes, I come across this video from this dude. I subscribed to his channel. I think he's pretty dope. And his messages are always on point. Like, I always need to hear it. And to me, I feel that God like speaks through many messengers in different forms, different ways. A lot of people call me a tarot reader. I like to call myself a prophet, like whatever. It is what it is. I mean, there are several occasions where I have demonstrated I don't need the cards. I use the cards for imagery for y'all, right? I could sit here and just do this, and I'll get you the message, don't even sweat. Um, it's just imagery helps, if I can show you where this message is coming from or like how I'm perceiving a message. I mean, my life is a moving prayer. I never say amen because I'm just gonna start talking to God 2 seconds later. What's the point? Um, so to me, I'm a pretty spiritual guy, and 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 I came across this channel, and it was like about like porn addiction and like abstinence and like abstaining from masturbation and those kinds of things. And I mean, I've seen the practice happen throughout many, different religions and traditions and cultural things. It's like Hindus, uh, who else? Like Buddhists, Stoics, and that's a philosophy. That's not even like a religion, right? That's just a philosophical school of thought. And I chime in on the comment section thinking like, oh, I have interesting information actually, and then I'm like, oh, and I'm don't even think of it in a negative way at all. I'm just like, here's some knowledge I have on this matter, and this practice actually, it's known like everywhere. It's not just like a Christian ideal or something. It's like, but whatever. So I chime in, and this fool. This man of Christ. Hold on, gigs. Just I gotta smoke real fast before I tell you what he said. Y'all are gonna laugh. He said he looked your boy's message in the eyeballs and was like, demonic as fuck. That's all he said, just demonic as fuck. And I was like, how? How is that demonic? Comparing something that I learned in college to a message that you're saying right here and now. I was like, I mean, Hinduism, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful practice. I don't hate on people's ways of finding God and connecting to God, because I know like God is like, if God's a whole body, right? Then each vein is gonna eventually get the blood to the heart, right? That's the main point. It's not so much exactly like having so much cognitive dissonance that you refuse to even like hear somebody else out, even if they're not trying to indoctrinate you with it. They're just trying to give you knowledge. I don't fucking indoctrinate anybody, actually. y'all think for yourselves. That's what we're here for, right? To think for ourselves. Because God is within you and all around you. You will not find God in a temple of wood and stone, but if you lift a stone, you will find me. Split a piece of wood, and there I am. I'm paraphrasing, but that was from the book of St. Thomas, right? That was in the Apocrypha, which were the texts that King James had removed from the Bible. And luckily, they still reserved the text. Ironically, King James, the guy who is known for our most popular Bible right now, he actually wrote a book on demonology and how to worship them right before translating the Bible into the King James Version, taking the entire Apocrypha out of it. Interesting. But I ain't here to tell nobody what to do, okay? I don't give no fucks. I'm here just doing what I'm told to do by God, by Spirit, you know, whatever, call it whatever you want. It is what it is. And like, I don't know, I got peeved, okay? Like, your boy doesn't get peeved. And then I realized, I was like, this is somewhere that I'm not completely, like, healed yet or something, right? Because if it can trigger me to be like, demonic, like, your boy? What? That's crazy. I'm an alchemist. Whatever. Doesn't even matter, right? Because to me, it's not about the doctrine, it's about the practice, it's about the connection to God, really. I don't give a fuck what some human had to write about it. Like, my personal experience is my personal experience, and we're experiencing shit. Man, I was just yelling at God the other day. Like, and I do that, right? That's my connection to God. We are so fucking tight. We're like this. We're tight like best friends, where like I can yell at God and be like, you know what, motherfucker, all this stuff. You always send in these messages. You're worthy. You're deserving. You know, and then life just acting like life to me, and I'm like, what the fuck, you know, like, if I'm so worthy, then why am I living this life? Why do I have psoriasis on my hands? I am a chef. Okay, like, help. And I just got fed up, man. I was yelling at God, and I do that, you know, like, just like, you know, if you're mad at a parent, you're like, what the fuck. Like, after I had that dream, or after I had that, like, fight with God, then I had a dream. And in my dream, like, there was, like, this prince, right? And I was kind of, like, observing, I guess, like, third person view. But there was, like, this prince, and he's staring out of the window, and he's studying. And he's like watching all the kids outside, you know, and they're all having a blast playing in the sun, and, like, you know, just being kids, while he's stuck having to study, to be a polyglot, to know all the different languages, to learn how to be an emperor, right? And it made me think of Marcus Aurelius, my boy. Excellent philosopher. But yeah, and so, like, there's, like, this prince, and he's just, like, and he's studying, he's working his ass off, he has to have specific combat training, you know, he has to know how to, like, lead the soldiers to war, and, you know, he's learning how to be an emperor, right? And one day, he looks at his dad, and he's like, well, what the fuck, man? I mean, not in these exact words, you know, but he's just like, why do I have it so much harder? Why can't I choose what I want to wear? Or why can't I go play outside with the other kids? Why can't I fucking do these things? You know? And the unfair part of it is also the fair part of it, right? Because, like, then his dad looks at him and he says, you're not like them. that will be their life out there playing outside. Shenanigans, tomfoolery, he's like, that is their life. Your life is like servitude to them, like your life is being a fair ruler. You have to know how to run shit. You have to know how to take care of them, because while you're in here learning all this, that's all they're learning, and that's all that they're gonna have to take with them, is that. And that is why you're set apart, right? And like later on, re-talking about it and thinking about it, it really brought me to that scripture, right? And it says, before you were formed in the womb, I knew you. Or I'm hella paraphrasing, but like, look it up if you want specifics. Your boy is lazy. I should just have like a laptop like pulled up so I could just be like, this is what I'm talking about, whatever. But but yeah, where was I? Before you were formed in the womb, I knew you, right? Set apart before birth, right? That's an aspect of it. Like, you're in this world, but you're not of this world, right? So you get to be in this world, but your duties are something a little fucking different, right? And like, I don't know, man. I think about that shit a lot, because like, and I'm not saying like anything special or anything by any means. What I'm saying by like all this is like, when you're like a messenger, for example, when you have like a spiritual task or duty, right? Because all of us that are up here giving these spiritual messages, that's like our spiritual duty, our sense of purpose, the thing that we're like the most passionate about. Man, in the time I've been doing all these fucking YouTube videos, the last fucking 1,000 videos I've made, I got married, I got divorced, I had to move like 3 times. I didn't lose all my shit, but like I gave away all my shit and like started from scratch like 3 fucking times, man. In the time that I've been doing this YouTube shit. And there were times where I was like, I'm just gonna give up. Like, hey, I'm just not in a place to be doing all this, But then something would just pull me up and be like, no, man, it's time to get up, time to stop wallowing in your self-pity, get your ass, you got work to do, And so, like, until I get up and I do it, or it's late at night, and I'm doing videos at like 3 in the morning after work, because I work at a bar and shit, it's not like I have all the time in the world to be doing this, but I fucking make time for it, because this is my real fucking job, this is the thing that, like, it keeps me going. Sometimes I have to take my own fucking advice, right? My friend Adrian, he's probably watching this right fucking now, but, he's been here since, like, day one, kind of seeing the entire evolution of this channel, and, like, and man, like, you can see, like, having specific spiritual duties doesn't necessarily mean that your personal life is gonna be like the best shit ever, right? You're gonna go through shit, you're gonna have your own shit, outside of this. And then, you're gonna have those times where shit's good, and that's dope too, but it's not like, I feel like there's like a misconception where people think like, oh, you're up here giving messages and so da 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 da. And it's like, in reality, dog, we're all trying to figure shit out. It's like, my friend called me hit me up, and I called him back yesterday. But, we were talking about that a bit too. And it was like, man, like, you know, everyone, it doesn't matter what you're seeing from a screen, right? Like, the reality of somebody's life is so vastly different from that, right? And that's why I try to be real and all. Like, if I ever take selfies and shit, you're getting, like, the most authentic selfie. Like, I don't be me out of bed, like, what up, world, you know, whatever. And I'm not putting on a facade for anybody. And even without putting on a facade, people have, like, you know, like, they've said some fucked up things about me having, like, a false, like, moral superiority or whatever. And I'm like, dude, I'm just doing my job. Like, I'm not here pretending that I'm wiser or better than anybody. I see a message and I give it. Okay, like, my personal life, psh, psh, dog. It could be better, right? It always could be, right? For all of us, though. Not just me, not just for, you know, it's all of us. Like, there are definitely, like, improvements everybody can make, and that's why the job of being a messenger is important to me. Because if I can help somebody else navigate this fucking matrix system that we're in, like, at least one person, if I could help one fucking person, then that's enough for me, you know, and me being able to help multiple people through, like, this, even regardless of where I'm at in life, you know, it's like, I saw this meme, and or meme, whatever, you know, this quote thing, and it said, like, when somebody helps you when they are also down and out, that's not help, that's love, right? And so, like, me in my personal journey, and the thing that I love the most about this is that I can help somebody else out regardless of where I'm at in life, right? Regardless of all this shit, you know, I can wake up and help somebody else navigate something, you know. And I think that's, like, the dopest shit ever. And so when I got called demonic as fuck, here's my ADHD. We did a full loop. We're going back around. Welcome to the rants. Um, but yeah, so when he said that, demonic as fuck, and there's just such judgment in those words. Like, anything I said about anything was gonna be perceived as demonic, right? Because people will automatically presume what they want to of you, right? Based on your appearance, based on whatever perception they create in their head. You know, they don't have to know anything about you, and they've already decided in their head who you are and what your intentions are and what your shit is, you know? And I don't know. I just feel like with all that I sacrificed for this journey and for how much passion and love I have, not just for the journey, but for the collective. Everyone knows I'm an Aquarius, right? It's easier for me to love the entire multitude of humanity than to have one personal relationship. Okay, like, honestly, like, because there's a big part of me that feels like a devotion to some service, right? That's why I'm a chef, right? I love cooking for my friends. It's like my favorite shit. My friends come through, I'm like, hook them up, you know? And, and it's just like, it's it's nice to help people, right? Even if empathy is selfish to some extent, I've integrated my shadow. I know my shadow. I don't pretend like I killed off my ego, because only people who are deeply egotistical would believe that your ego could die without the rest of you dying, right? Like, you can't kill your ego without killing yourself. And then the second you think you don't have an ego is when you have the biggest ego. It's like, you all gotta start recognizing, man. Like, it's not about being spiritually better than anybody else. It's about creating your own connection with the divine, right? With source, the universe, earth, you know? Call it whatever you want, but we all have words for it, right? Energy, frequency. Doesn't matter like what your belief is, there's a word for it, right? Even for atheists, energy, matter, water, fire, these are all forces that create us, and they are all forces that move us, aren't they? Sometimes I feel like we stand a little too closely to the elephant. And I think fire, personally, from my observation of fire, I think fire's kind of nosy, right? If you think about it, from the dawn of humans figuring out how to fucking, make fire happen, it's like fire has been present for some of the most intimate conversations that have ever happened, right? And if you think of fire as like an entity, right, a force, like Calcifer from Hell's Moving Castle or something, then you start noticing like fire is always there, and it has its own behavior, it has its own way of existing, and it's like you start seeing God in everything at some point when you start really building a connection to spirit, right? And it's not just like showing up being like, oh God, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. It ain't like that, right? It's like you would, if God is your creator, then God fucking knows you, right? Knows your character, knows exactly who you are, how you think, how you speak, what you like in life, what you don't like in life, your sincerity when you say certain things, if your apology actually means something, it's like, it's all, it's very consciously aware of you. So why hide who the fuck you are, right? Why put on a mask? Why pretend, And so, but also in my not pretending, I am now being perceived as demonic, right? Normally, I don't give a fuck what people think. And admittedly, this time, it bothered me. And like I said, that's where it triggered something, so I know that's an aspect of myself that needs to be worked on now, because I was able to be like, what? Like, I am an angel dog. Like, have you ever seen me? Like, well, I guess so is Lucifer. I don't know. Whatever. So, but all I'm saying, okay, I'm not an angel dog. I hear spirit laughing at me right now, but that doesn't mean I'm fucking demonic, right? Like, I'm the balance, right? I understand chaos and creation. I understand the importance of both. I don't think one is separate from the other, right? I don't think that light and dark are actually separated. They come together, right? It's like oil and water. They're never really actually separated. Like, I mean, they're separated, but they like come together too, if that makes sense. And it's like, God is all of us and all the things. We're all fractals of the cosmic background microwave radiation. Might have said that all backwards and fucked up, but whatever. But like, we are a lot in the universe, even with how infinitesimal we are in the universe. We're also the entire universe, I mean, energy means that we're a singularity. There's no such thing as like actual distance, because matter is just energy that's like vibrating at a higher frequency, right? And it's like sound and light waves just piled on each other until matter happened. But yeah, and like there's no real separation, and it's kind of funny if you like really allow yourself to perceive it for a moment, right? That think about it, we propagate plants, for example, right? Where you take a clipping from like a plant, put that clipping in water. I have propagations right here, hold on. um, I like science, but yeah, so basically you take these propagations and they create their own root system and all that. It's still technically the first plant, right? Now it's got two different bodies, right? It's been split, it's been fractaled. And this other version, or the clone, would be, it's going to grow in a different environment than the original plant grew from, right? But it doesn't make it not that plant, right? It's going to have different experiences, different exposure to light and darkness, and feeding, like watering times and whatever, like just those slight environmental differences would make that one so vastly different from the already potted plant that it is, like because it was clipped from that. And that's, like energetically it's always going to be the same guy, like and like if you split an atom, and I use this example all the fucking time, but like you take half of that atom to one side of the universe and half to the other, and then you do experiments on this side, the other one is going to respond because matter can be separated but energy cannot, if that makes sense, right? So like even though there's a severance, what happens is, like, just imagine, like, eating pizza and the cheese is like it's like that with energy, like the matter separates, but like that energetic connection is still fucking there, still fine, because it's not confined to space and time. It doesn't separate like that, and it's in every crevice of everything. There's no such thing as a half empty cup, actually. This is totally full because it's full of energy, right? It's full of all that. It's all encompassing, it's everywhere, it's omnipotent, it's fucking, it can't be created nor destroyed. It only recycles itself, man. It takes on new forms and shit. We are the very singularity that is God, and that's why we all have a very specific connection to it, right? Call it what you will. All have a spiritual connection to it. We're not actually separate from it. We're just one big glob that thinks. It's like blood cells, man. They think they're separated, but when we bleed, we're bleeding, it looks like this. Yeah, just think about that. But like, we're like a Russian nesting doll, kind of thing going on. So like, why would you want to be too much of one thing anyway? You're here to experience human life, the human condition, right? You're here to have a day job. You're here to fight temptations. You're here to experience shit, right? Because, like, God's bored. Okay? And if you start getting complacent, God's gonna get bored and want to just fuck with your life a little bit. And be like, alright, get the ball rolling. Let's throw some curveballs here and some twisty turnies over here, and when you know that what it is, it's a lot easier to just get there like, okay, come at me, my lord. It's like, but it doesn't feel demonic to have that kind of connection to spirit. And I guess I keep coming back to that. I'm peeved, okay? I'm peeved. I'm not infallible. I'm gonna be peeved sometimes, okay? But like, man, I got judged by somebody I respected, right? By somebody that like, I thought was pretty dope, And that's so disappointing, You know, to get judged like that by somebody that you respect. I don't know. I'm sure there's a karmic lesson in here. I'm gonna figure it out. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's like just because they don't understand your spiritual path, like they're like, you're wrong and I'm right and it's the only way it could ever be. Dog, we're all wrong and we're all right. Like, whatever. You know, it's not about being wrong or right. It's about, do you love God? How is your relationship with that, right? Because you're gonna know how you personally connect with God. You're just gonna know. You're gonna have that personal fucking vibe, man. Like, for me, it's like art, music. Like, I connect with God all the time. So, like, I would much rather sit at home just vibing than, like, do pretty much anything else, right? Like, I'll be out here having my tiara on, dancing, singing to my axolotl and shit. You know, it's like, we're here to enjoy it, man. It's a play. Have fun. You know? And don't take shit so fucking seriously. You know? Don't be so, like, keen on being right and wrong and demonizing people, ostracizing people. Because what? Because they read a book that had information that you don't want to hear about. And it's like, if your spirituality cannot take you hearing information from other books, then if your cognitive dissonance is that strong, that means that you are actually afraid that you could read something that will change your mind. Because real faith, right? Real, honest to God faith means that, like, you could read the Satanic Bible and still come out after having read it feeling very into God, right? Like, you might not turn into a Satanist or whatever. If your faith is that strong, right? If your faith is real, it doesn't matter what you fucking read, because one, you're either going to find God in it, or two, you're just not, you know, like, you'll take in information, you'll hear what is said, you'll absorb it, and maybe turn it into part of your philosophy if you agree with certain bits. But, like, also, you know, recognize that, like, you don't have to agree with everything you read, you know? I oftentimes don't, right? I'm the worst with making book reviews, like, and sometimes the best, right? Like, had to make a whole other fucking YouTube channel so people could hear my commentary while I read books, because I'm like, somebody else needs to hear my opinions on this, not because you guys need an audiobook. Hell no. Y'all need my opinions on this book, okay? I just know it. Oh man, now I'm reading a good one too. It's Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. I need to get back on that. Perhaps tonight. Perhaps. But yeah, and what's cool about Good Omens is it's kind of like talking about this kind of spiritual shit too, on a more jokey joke manner. It's funny, but like some of it's kind of real. I'm like, eh. You know, it's, man, if I give you any advice for, like, the rest of your life or whatever, I would say, like, take into consideration the weight of your judgment on people, right? Because, like, here you could be judging people really, really harshly who, like, have a lot of respect for you, right? Or, like, or, you know, enjoy your presence on the earth. They're like, you know what, that person's dope, da 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 da. And then you find out, like, or, you know, you just show up judging, and then they're like, oh shit, man, that's weird, you know? Like, completely changed, you know, my perspective. And I'm like, and I get it. We're all working on our path. We're all figuring ourselves out. But like, God is love, not division, you know? God says, come as you are, you know? And so did Kurt Cobain, actually. But, you know, so like, don't let people tell you how to handle your spirituality either, right? Don't let other people be a higher authority in your personal connection to the divine, right? Only you fucking know, you know? Like, those people, they ain't there when you're up crying in the middle of the night. God, help! You know, shit's wrong. You know, they're not there when you're having those days where you're straight up yelling at God, and that doesn't mean you don't have faith. That means you actually have faith, you know. If you're able to fucking argue with God, you're like, I know you love me, and I know you understand. I'm frustrated right now, you know, and it's like, and that's the most beautiful kind of like pure love connection you could have, you know. It's like, it's not judgmental. It doesn't like have any preconceived notions, right? It doesn't try to decide who you are for you before you even know, you know? So like, what you say to people actually matters, you know? It's actually like, you know, how you treat people actually matters, because you could actually, like, you don't know how you affect people when you enter into their lives. And, you know, like, I was thinking about that too recently. I was like, man, one day I'm gonna die, you know, and like, and I want, in my last 7 minutes of consciousness, to just really have a moment to like, to think about like all the people that like have helped me, that I've helped, you know, all those cool moments, you know, doing DMT in the back of my friend's truck with her and just talking for hours, you know, like, I want to remember shit like that, you know. I want that to be like, you know, we're winning second place in trivia on acid, you know, like, I don't know how it happened, but whatever. But yeah, dude, it's like, those are the things I want to take with me, and it doesn't seem to me evil or demonic, you know. To me, it's like, these are spiritual experiences I'm having with spiritual beings on this fucking planet, this spiritual planet, right? Everything's fucking spiritual, right? You're not a spiritual human, right? You're a spirit having a human experience, right? You're not having a spiritual experience. You're having a human experience. And that's a lot of the times why I don't even like identifying as human, man. It's like, because I ain't, right? I'm not. I'm like, I'm the energy. I'm the idea, right? I'm a consciousness. I'm part of the consciousness, you know? And I find that, like, so much more, like, seeing the unity in everything. It makes me feel a lot more, like, empathy, too, because also that selfish part of me that is, like, if I hurt other people, then that in turn hurts me, you know? A little of karma and whatnot. Or like, cause and effect, you know, like, you don't know how you're gonna affect people. You don't know what kind of like things you'll trigger in another person. And man, you know what? I'm kind of glad it happened because, like, otherwise I wouldn't have known that that was, like, something that I need to work on, though. You know, if I wasn't triggered by it. That's how God helps me figure out, like, oh, this is the thing they didn't work on this time. And I was like, oh shit, I was slacking. I was so busy doing that other shadow work you had me doing crazy. Now it's, you know, I'll do this too. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just ranting. I'm just fucking talking to y'all. I ain't got nothing particular to say. I got themes for you guys. I just, you know, like, I spend my life looking into your lives, right? And we're always talking about y'all. Now it's your turn to talk about me, right? It's like that meme of, like, that Sex in the City meme where she's like, everyone's so worried about World War III. When will anybody care about World War Me? The funniest shit ever. I'm sorry. Well, I have my own jokes here. But, yeah, so, like, now y'all get to hear me and my venting because, like, I get vented to. Right? I'm like, so this is reciprocal now. Now you get to sit here, deal with me. I haven't even finished my coffee because I can't shut up. ADHD is dope, guys. But yeah, so I don't know. I think that's pretty much all I want to say. You know what? I'll leave you on a note. I'll pull a collie card for you. Now, if you're sitting here dealing with my ass, you know, listening to me ramble on, it's kind of nice though, man. Baba Turini. When momentum is building and you don't know how to stop fueling the fire or reverse the damage, Kali brings grace and freedom from negative patterning and stubborn mindsets resistant to change. Now is a powerful time for spiritual work and healing practices. She will support the work, and much growth can come from it. The storm shall be gentled, and you shall emerge unharmed. So, yes, namaste. And now you guys get to see me too, right? I'm always namasteing you, so this is that reciprocal thing. Now you get to see me. Outside of the cards, but I did have to add the card. It's my calling. Okay. Yeah. And also, like, I haven't gone live in a while. I might do that soon. Come up with, like, some Q&A shit. If you guys want to, like, do a live, like, Q&A or whatever, like, hit me up. Send me some, like, questions in advance or whatever in the comments or whatever. Then, like, I'll have something to to go off of because I get a little nervous going live. I'm like, wait, I can't even pause this shit. Like, I'm stuck here. We're talking. But I mean, that's also why I want to do that, because it's something that is not so easy for me. I like working on the things that are harder for me. It's like making myself ambidextrous. I was like, I don't think it's fair that only one of my hands can write, so and so I mean, yeah. Namaste. I'll catch y'all later. As I do, I'm like, I'm not demonic. I just like metal, okay? Also, I'm like part Capricorn, the goats, But, yeah, I don't know. not that there's, I don't, like I said, I don't see things as like demonic and angelic or good and bad, or, I don't see that duality. I see the singularity. I see one being with many aspects, right? One being that like exhibits different traits. It's like, we're just God playing hide and seek from itself, right? Like, and then when you connect to it and you realize what you are, you're like, of course, this whole time, just a finger puppet. you know, um, yes, that's what I have for you. Namaste. Deal with me. Goodbye.